More revenue, new business, better retention. Hey, Mike Farmer here this morning with Dan Charlebois from Mobile Battery Solutions, or MBS. Good morning, Dan.
Good morning, Mike. How are you?
Great, thank you. Dan, you've got a little experience in the emergency road service industry and in particular, battery service. Can you tell us a little bit about that, please?
Yeah, Mike, I owned a towing company for about 28 years in the Sacramento area, and we did just about everything that a towing company does. Typical road service, motor clubs, law enforcement, and of course, we contracted with a variety of commercial accounts. I was probably one of the first companies in the US to try a battery service program that was significant. I sold the service company in 2014, and with my partners, I started MBS.
Okay, great, thanks. The title for this is More Revenue, New Business, and Better Retention. Can you maybe expound on that a little bit? Tell us a little more.
Yeah, let's talk about the earning part of it first. That's usually what everybody is most concerned about. And everybody knows that the quickest service we perform is the jump start. And it's the one call that we can stack when we're busy. And it's just simply a matter of hooking up a couple of cables and starting the car. And in most cases, you're gone. This is common knowledge, but what most people don't realize is that in 50 to 60% of those cases, that battery that you just serviced, that you just hooked up to, is going to be replaced in about 10 to 15 days. So basically, what you have is the customer is going to go buy a battery from someone at an average cost of about $165 to $185. And of course, that's going to take up a couple hours of their day. That's assuming, of course, that they don't replace it themselves. And what our program does is it gives you the turnkey recipe to become the beneficiary of that transaction. You'll be selling the battery, thus earning greater revenue on the call.
Sounds good, Dan. How much more revenue are we talking about?
Well, it depends where you price your batteries. And we don't set your battery prices, but we make recommendations based upon your particular area. For instance, if you're in San Francisco, those are going to be retail for a little more than they would in Des Moines, Iowa, or something like that. After the cost of the battery, most providers can look to net a minimum of about $60 to $90, depending on the battery.
What about time on the scene? Does that increase?
It does. Typically, we see providers and new installers requiring about 30 to 40 minutes, which includes the paperwork, the testing, and everything. The learning curve on this is steep, but it's short. And after a few installations, the average time on scene will decrease to about 20 minutes or less. If you get a Hyundai or a Honda or a Toyota, something like that, you can even get down to as quick as 10 minutes. And that's actually a majority of your cars.
You mentioned new business. So where does this new business come from?
First off, any jump starts you currently have are candidates for the program. But aside from your existing business, MBS has online opportunities that are simply a matter of John Q. Public using the internet looking to have their battery replaced. This is a growing trend within our network, and MBS has providers nationwide servicing these customers. All of our providers will be part of this network of new business if they want. It's not required, however.
All right, Dan, you mentioned better retention. How does a battery program help with employee retention?
Well, when I talk to owners of emergency road service companies, there are a number of issues that they have in common. It doesn't matter where you're at, like insurance costs, maintenance, but employee retention is always either number one or two. And it's usually not a matter of job satisfaction. They like what they're doing. It's more often a matter of being able to pay the tech sufficient wages to keep them in the industry. So if you add a battery service to your company profile, it allows you extra revenue per hour of operation to bonus out those extra monies to employees. This is a huge advantage in retaining good workers or keeping your competitor from picking them off. And it also sets you apart from your competitors who don't have the service.
Well, Dan, that about wraps up our time today. If someone is interested, what do they do next?
Well, Mike, I want to thank you for the opportunity to chat with you today about the program. You'll see on the screen right now all the contact information, and you can just follow some of the prompts there and get a hold of any number of people, and we'll be very happy to chat with you or exchange emails or any type of information you need to get started.
Dan, thank you very much for your time and good luck. Thanks and be safe out there.